All right, well, I'm Dan with Hydro-Chem Systems out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Typically, this system here got a 3,500 psi at 9 gallon a minute. Hydro-Tek hot water pressure washer, the best in the industry, has to offer. One of the unique features on it, you do have a large twin-cylinder Kohler engine, 750 cc engine. You also have a 2,900 watt generator on here. This 110 volt or 115 volt generator powers the burner system. So kind of like a belt drive is better than a direct drive pump. 120 volt, 115 volt burner system is much better than a 12 volt. So this system normally doesn't have a lot of your normal failures in other situations. Designed to run, it's kind of like a fuel oil furnace type deal that someone would have at a home or a business. Designed for continual use. So this is as industrial as you're going to get when it comes to that. And then it's all stainless steel frame. It's all belt driven. It does have a low-speed industrial belt drive pump on there too. That TSF series pump is phenomenal. I mean, we didn't even have to put a set of packings in it. One of the ones that ran like 20 hours a day for like 1,880 hours. So that was typically about 125,000 miles. 125,000 miles of driving without like changing a set of tires. I mean, that's how durable the system is, so it should give you a lot of years of use on that. The heating coil inside here is a spiral wound. It's a new style coil. It's very fuel efficient. Normally a little over a gallon of diesel fuel an hour is all it takes. Most of them are 2.5 to 3.5 plus. So it can actually save a ton of money just in fuel savings alone. It does have an hourly around here, so you can maybe change your schedule on maintenance and see what time it takes to do projects and all. It has a pressure gauge. That one's not working. It must have froze on the way here. So we'll have another one on to you right away. Typically it is a twin cylinder Kohler, so you've got a dipstick back here. It's critical, there's only normally 2 quarts of oil in this, so when it gets down you want to do your oil change. We do recommend 50-hour oil changes on something like this. It's a little early, but I've had clients that have gotten 4,600 hours out of their engines, you know what I mean? So well maintenance, good maintenance on it. The other thing I'm sure, whoever the mechanic is around here or whatever, if they want to, ethanol fuels bite, they're very, you always want to keep fresh fuel in this. If it gets stored for the winter, I would probably get the fuel, the gasoline out of it and kind of change it as needed. It's the number one thing that hit small engine repair centers. They're getting real rich off of the ethanol fuel, so if the fuel goes bad after a couple of months or 3 months, but you want to maintain that. The red fuel tank is an 8-gallon gasoline tank. On the other side here, the white fuel tank is a diesel fuel tank. The diesel fuel or kerosene is used to run the burner system to create the heat for there. You could also use like a farmer fuel or something like that in there, and that won't be a problem. Typically your pump has a sight glass on it that shows a little red dot. You want to make sure that's about level to the red dot right here. Now, like I mentioned, you had a gauge issue. Still at like 2,800 psi, and it shouldn't be right now, disconnected. I'll get you a new gauge. I do have this gauge here on there to confirm pressure and flow to make sure for now. And there's another gauge on the hopper tubes on the back. You can actually test your pressure and all. Typically, that will give you some idea on this. And now there is, because it is a 2,900 watt generator, the red switch is going to turn the burner on. You can leave that on when you're doing the hot water cleaning and adjust your thermostat accordingly. The white switch is an auxiliary switch. This actually, when you turn this on, will run the wastewater recycling system here. So this is actually have the vacuum on here that will vacuum up to 100 feet away from the trailer. Right now the vacuum hose is actually connected to the hopper itself. The reason we went with this is you can also pull this vac hose off. I got an extra box over here with like a 50-foot of vacuum hose. So say you wanted to wash your trucks and recycle the water and pump it back into the building, you can use this system. Put the vacuum hose out there with a little vacuum stuffer tool. I'll show you that. It looks like a carpet wand. The had with one cut off. And that can actually be left with some water dams, and it'll suck up the water and be able to do that. You can also use that if you've got dumpsters and compactors that leak, and you want to go ahead and clean around the dumpsters and compactors. You can pull the vacuum hose off, drop the scupper, put your water dam up around the storm drain, and clean and recover the water that way. What it does, it actually will get vacuum into the holding tank, which actually has a basket filter. So that's your first easy clean filter, so if the leaves or dirt gets in there, you can catch it from there. The cone-shaped tank, which acts as a solid separation tank on the bottom of this, which also has a drain on it. So any heavy solids or muck is going to catch, and it drains out to the front here, and the drain is on the back side here. So you can actually just clean that out. The system has a 12-volt pump, like 21 gallon a minute, and what that does, it pumps from the black recovery tank here through a 50 micron string filter, a 20 micron string filter, and then it comes out here, the top of the tank on the driver's side, and inside there, they're half, like, this is a 5 micron bag filter. So you're actually getting your waste down to about 5 microns, so they're really phenomenal. And then this area, the valves here, some guys will use this, the commercial pressure washer. This is kind of like a system that would do Walmart stores. They want you to clean their sidewalks, recover their water, use heat, and then haul the water away. So a lot of times we'll set it up where they got like split tanks for the waste cleaning. Here you got your freshwater tank on this side, which is connected to the garden hose, and then this is your waste tank. But we do allow where you can join the two together. So if you flush everything out, and say you guys wanted to do clean all the sidewalks on campus or something like that, it may not be applicable, but if it is, now you got 540 gallons of fresh water that you can use. Open this here and here, and it would join the two tanks together. And then the same concept is you can drain either tank by just opening the drain valve out here. So you can just drain the waste tank out and flush that out. Got a bypass going back to tank. So if you're in the bypass mode, it's going to circulate back to the tank. It's going to prevent from overheating and keep the pump in good shape that way too. The other thing that I installed on the cold water area is this valve here, and they bypass back to the supply source. You say it is plugged out, you may not have it, but if you wanted to, you'll hear it probably some. This allows you to run the pressure washer, have the water going back to the supply tank, and it's good for starting the machine, so there's no pressure on the unit. Then have to just spray it out and everything like that. This will run that. The only thing you got to be super cautious of, don't have this at 180 degrees and pump the water back in that tank. If you open this valve for any extended period of time, like some people do because they want to clean during the winter a little bit and extend it, like 100 degrees, 120, just to keep the water from freezing in the tank there. I don't know if you guys are doing any of that at that time, but if you do, just the biggest thing to know is don't run out of gas. Now, if you're cooling off the machine with water in the tank and you shut the unit down, you always want to let the machine cool down after you shut the heater off. So you can open the valve and let that hot water go in, and it's only going to run for like a minute and a half to boil off. There's a shock that goes on inside the heating coil. It's actually a hot shutdown. You never want to shut down this whichever method leads on to the gun. valve just makes it really, really start and stop with that. And then this valve here, so this hopper, it really been, this one will activate the other spray head. Then I actually put another valve for your compression. So normally you can keep this on if you got the gun line on here and stuff like that. But say you do a hose or something, you could just shut this off and still continue to be for now. And then you do have an injector on here. If you do have a degreaser cleaner, that's actually totally from the gun. And it's a very high volume injector. It's working at 33% soap. And it would just be a matter of dropping that in a bucket. And then the only difference is that it actually had a quick disconnect on it. That yeah. Hydro-Chem Systems. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, you could. Yeah, you do have adjustment on here, where you can adjust the flow ratio through there. You can utilize that. It's also to be used for if you want to have truck washing too. You want to use that. You can also get into a two-step truck wash. That still go through this injector and be set up either with a selector valve, or even make it with a multi-flow chem system, more for like big washing system in general. So we have all that available. Everything's hydraulics when it comes to the tipper. I've got it on a medium speed. There is some pressure control valves here that you can adjust if you want to tweak it just a little higher. Let me go bring the camera over here. Oh, okay.
Active all the time? It's because it's battery?
It's battery powered, right? So that'll be on all the time. And no, but it's actually, it won't be, it shouldn't draw battery down enough unless somebody wanted to spoil or plug it with it. That can be an issue. Typically, you just roll the wheel bin up. Try to get it nice and centered on here. You can actually load two. You can actually see there's this dirt paper in there. Some of those baskets broken, we're going to leave that in there now. It's going to be a lot easier to deal with.
Any size bin will work?
Well, I've utilized this from like a 32 up to the 96. The big thing on this series, you have to have that bottom lip bar on there.
Right.
And for it to latch on. Let me just show here that they are dirty to begin with. All right. Now normally you would, depends on what's in them, you may need to already have a little bit of a spray on there of that degreaser cleaner on it. So
the best thing to do is make sure you have as much debris as possible without it.
oh yeah, you don't want any big things that can damage the spray bars and all that on there. Now sometimes this will kick out, so a lot of times you start it, see it kind of kicking out, you grab it, then you latch on. Now make sure, it's critical, that both lids are open. If you don't have a lid, you can snap the spray. You gotta get the lid open. it in. I designed this little cap. I designed it so it'll go all the way down, but you can actually adjust it so it'll hit different angles. Up. That's interesting. That should happen.